Ex-Pope Benedict XVI was a brilliant theologian and defender of conservative values who made history by becoming the first pontiff to resign since the Middle Ages after a scandal dogged the papacy. German Joseph Ratzinger stepped down in February 2013 after almost 8 years as head of Catholic Church, blaming his declining physical and mental health. As Pope Emeritus, he retained the White Cassock but spent the rest of his life in study and prayer, though he would break his promise to live hidden from the world by weighing in an explosive subjects. Just as the issue of child sex abuse had dogged his papacy, his final years were overshadowed by allegations that he personally failed to stop 4 clerics accused of abuse while Archbishop of Munich. Benedict firmly denied being involved in any cover-ups, while the Vatican strongly defended his record on tackling the abuse. Benedict was 78 years when he succeeded the long-reigning and popular Paul II in April 2005. A cat lover who enjoyed solitary walk, he compared being elected Pope glutine. Though he lacked the dynamism of his predecessor John Paul II, or the warmth of his successor Pope Francis, those who knew him described his shy but affable manner and dry sense of humor. He was the first to admit that he was not skilled at governing. He faced strong opposition to his attempt to tackle the biggest skeleton in the church's closet, child sex abuse, and the Vatican's murky finances, and many believe the stress overwhelmed him. Ratzinger had previously served as the church's chief doctrinal enforcer, earning nickname God's Rottweiler and reputation as a generally conservative thinker in theological issues. As the head of the Vatican doctrinal congregation, he had ultimate responsibilities to investigate the sexual abuse of children by priests. He became the first pontiff to apologize for the scandals that emerged around the world, expressing deep remorse and meeting with the victims in person, but critics accused him of failing to enforce justice. Benedict also failed to stamp his authority on the Curia, the church's governing body, and appeared to have lost control of his household. In 2012, his butler Paolo Gabriella leaked a secret paper to the media. A Vatican bank money laundering scandals also exposed infighting among his closest allies. According to his long-term aide and confidant George Garnwen, Benedict asked at the start of his papacy for the strength not to flee in fear from the wolves out to get him. By September 2012, however, he was telling his closet allies he would quit. 5 months later, Benedict's decision to become the first pope since 1415 to retire was announced to Cardinal in Latin. The strength of mind and body has deteriorated in me to the extent that I have had to recognize my incapacity to adequately fulfill the ministry, said Benedict, then 85. He had hoped to return to his native Bavaria. Instead, Benedict spent the first papal retirement in 60 years in a former monastery inside the Vatican, praying, studying, playing his beloved Mozart on the piano as long as his health allowed. He gave up his signature ruby red shoes but not his book, insisting his retired library be moved in with him. In the March 2021 interview, he said fanatical Catholics had repeatedly voiced doubts about whether he stepped down willingly, but he insisted there is only one Pope. As Pope, Benedict focused much on his energy on issues of dear to his heart: religion's role in the modern world, interfaith dialogue, and critique of unregulated capitalism that carried strong resonance during the global economic crisis in 2008. He made waves during 2009 trip to the Holy Land, where he called for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestine conflict. He fought to stem growing secularism in the West and staunchly defending traditional Catholic teaching on abortion, euthanasia, and gay marriage. Benedict rejected ordination of women and marriage for priests, and he condemned same-sex relationship during criticism for making the church look out out of touch. He angered the Muslim world with a speech in 2006 in which he appeared to endorse the view that Islam inherently violent, sparking deadly protests in several countries as well as an attack on Christians. In 2009, he offended Jews by lifting the excommunications of Holocaust-denying bishop, but he also won praise from the same Jewish leaders for his effort to restore mutual trust. AIDS activists were angered when, on a trip to Africa, Benedict said condom use could be aggravating crisis. However, he later became the first pope to sanction their use under certain circumstances to prevent HIV infection. Pope Benedict was born on April 16, 1927 in Marktheim in Bavaria. His policeman father, stay-at-home mother, said the academically gifted child on path to a religious life early on. In 1941, he became a member of the Hitler Youth, as was compulsory for all 14-year-olds under the Nazis. As the son of actively anti-Nazis father, it was, according to his subsequent account by himself and contemporaries, a step he took reluctantly. The future pope was ordained as a priest in 1951 and taught at several universities, notably in Bonn and Regensburg, before coming to Rome to work as advisor to the modernizing Second Vatican Council from 1962 to 1965. Pope Paul named him Archbishop of Munich in 1977 and made him cardinal the same year. Biographer Peter Stewart told in June 2020 that Benedict was a down-to-earth person found in the highest circle while remaining a very humble person, a warm person. His voluntary abdication of power, Vatican expert John Allen wrote in A Crux Now, was arguably the single most humble act by a pope in centuries, if not of all times.